This is the art of network engineering, where technology meets the human side of IT. Whether you're scaling networks, solving problems, or shaping your career, we've got the insights, stories, and tips to keep you ahead in the ever-evolving world of networking. Welcome to the Art of Network Engineering podcast. My name is Andy Laptev, and we are joined in this episode by one of my very good friends. I feel very fortunate that you're my friend, Lexie Cooper. How you doing, Lexie?
I feel very fortunate that you're my friend too, Andy.
Yay!
Everything went really well that time.
Yeah, and full transparency with the audience, this is like our fourth time trying to start the show. The first time I couldn't pronounce my own name, so that's where we're at in this episode. That's our starting point.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing great though.
You on. Thank you. I can say my name now. We just had you on, so this is a great treat. We just had you on. We talked about New Glen's launch. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Got a ton of attention. So thank you. A bunch of people probably discovered our show because we're like, holy crap, this is amazing. So thanks for coming on. It was amazing.
Yeah.
What is there any like post like? Is there like a letdown? Like, wow, the thing happened. Now it's like, huh?
My gosh, the thing happened.
Probably
it was
not.
amazing, and now we're doing it again, and then we're gonna do it again and again and again and again. So,
That's cool.
look out this fall at some point. I think I can say this.
Fall.
Yeah, I can say this. Just recently, we rolled out part of our second vehicle, our NG2 vehicle, to the pad, and we're doing some testing. So if you keep your eyes on LC36 down in Florida, you might see some cool stuff ignite, and hopefully not explode.
What does second vehicle mean? Are there two New Glens? Or is it
Yeah,
like a
so
section?
there's a bunch of New Glens actually.
Ah.
We are continually building multiple ones so that we can, eventually get up to this cadence that we want. That's like, it takes some time to refurbish a booster after you've landed it after a launch. And so, the idea is that we'd catch the booster, bring it back for refurb, and then like launch another one a couple weeks later. So we have enough time to refurb the first one without being like super rushed, right? So we'll have a bunch of New Glens doing their thing.
Wow, I thought there was one. Isn't that silly? I guess it's obvious
well, there
now
was one originally, right? We only had
Yeah.
one in January when we launched it. So
It makes sense having a couple so you can kind of keep the launch schedule up.
yeah, for sure. It's similar to what SpaceX does. They have a bunch of them in rotation at any given point. So yeah.
So can I get on like a sign up thing? I remember at one point I signed up for like the Kennedy Space something or another where I'd get emails of like launches in Florida.
That's
like,
a really good question.
I'll have to look it up because so my dream as a young child was to see one of the shuttle launches, and I missed out. I never got there before they shut down STS or whatever it was called. So I can't wait to see a launch. Now, the launch I'd like to see is when we send humans to Mars. Now, I don't know when and if that's going to happen in my lifetime. And then there's the weather and they get scrubbed and all that. So it's a probably 1 in a million shot that I'll get to see that. So I should probably just come see like a New Glenn launch at some point when I can.
See New Glenn.
And if we're not sending people to Mars, right? Like it'd be cool.
Eventually,
but I got to get on a
New
list, I
Glenn-
think.
Yeah, and I wish I could say I knew we had an email list. I don't think we do, but I will look into that for you in case we do. But KSC, Kennedy Space Center, and like places around there that sort of like are touristy places that are like, oh, come see the space shuttle launch or whatever. They will have like lists and notifications and stuff. And
so did they pull your launches in? Because I know like I can see SpaceX launches. Yeah,
launch
so like
it's
right.
And they've
like
got
you could buy a ticket, you can go. It's like lunch, whatever, right? Like
it depends on like what venue you want to go to. I think like places sell tickets to like go sit on the beach and like eat stuff.
I want to go as close as I can. I know you're not super close, but that's for safety.
I mean, depending on if you want to get arrested on Space Force.
I don't want to get arrested by those.
Okay, if you don't want to get arrested,
I mean,
then there's a lot of beaches that like face the pads, and I'm trying to remember because I wasn't down in Florida for the first launch. I was here in Washington. But I would also like to go, so I'll let you know when I find a really good spot.
I guess eventually you'll be like at a launch. Are you allowed to say that? Like
you would think. You would think. I'm not in like the engineering like front room or anything, the MCC when they're like doing it, but I'm like backup of backup of backup or something. So maybe one day.
But like you're allowed to like go. On your own maybe, and they wouldn't don't go do that.
It's just like you said, things get scrubbed if weather's bad or like something gets too cold or too hot or something. Like little things happen, and so it's unfortunately. I'm pretty sure my manager like went down for the first launch, and he was there for like a week with like a beach house, and we did not launch during that week. And
you got to hang at the beach for the week. That's kind of
right.
nice.
But they were just like
that's not
across from the
terrible.
Cape, like waiting
Yeah.
for it. Anyway, so that can happen, but I would expect that as we get into a cadence, it'll be a lot more predictable to get to launch.
Well, I apologize because I told you I wasn't going to ask you rocket stuff because we just talked about rocket stuff.
It's
but
fine,
come
man.
on,
I love
how
talking
can
about
I
this.
not? How can I not talk rocket stuff with
I
Lexie Cooper? Rocket
love
Girl,
talking about
you
it.
know what I mean?
I really do. I love talking about it.
I'll have to go to a
Honestly.
launch. I'll have to check that out and
Yeah.
and see it for sure. We were joking right before we started that. So this is going to be, I think, just like a random stream of consciousness episode. We had a guest scheduled. They didn't feel well, so Lexie was kind enough to hang in there, and I said, let's do something. It'll be a lot of fun. So I think this is kind of like, I don't know what we're going to name it.
Andy promised me
Yes.
I could say literally anything that I wanted. So get ready, okay? Because this is going to be, we're going to gossip. No, I don't know.
Yes.
No, we're not gonna
Dude,
gossip.
let's do it. Come on.
We can
Isn't that
gossip
awesome?
very
Why
generally
not?
and broadly so no one knows what we're talking about. That's always fun.
What tech podcasts out there are launching like emotional gossip bombs at other people? And you know what I mean? Like, come on. If you're trying to differentiate yourself in an oversaturated market like podcasts,
You
let's
know
just get into it.
what? That's not a bad idea.
she
Let's
goes,
gossip
right? I
about
know,
stuff.
yeah.
You know?
All right. Before we gossip about wonderful people, I was telling you right before we started. So you're just telling me what's been going on with you, right? So like for me, the Andy update is I'm not a young guy, and I've tried to stream a couple times lately, and I got to tell you, man, like you inspired me because of your study stream. So I'm like, oh, so I'm on this whole. If you haven't followed it, I'm on this whole like I'm going to learn automation. And it comes from a good place. It's not like I work at a company that's paying
Which
me
is
for automation
amazing.
and now I'm selling myself.
I admire you so much for this.
Well,
I just
well,
want you
thank
to
you.
know,
The only
because
reason
I
I'm
can't do
doing it, well, right, but so I have to, and the reason is, and I'm going to talk about this at AutoCon, but when I lost my job and got laid off, and I tried to get another job in networking, every job everywhere was like automation in the job requirements, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then I'm like interviewing at places and talking to people, and they're like, well, what do you know about, I don't know, whatever. Like, do you know some basic Python? I'm like, and these weren't even just like engineering jobs, like even like vendor roles. And like, so it just seemed, my experience was like, oh crap, ruh-roh, like, because I was the guy who was like, oh, I'm never doing this and I'm never doing. So anyway, through my experience, blah, 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 I'm like, I better learn this stuff. And there's a lot happening. Like, now with the LLM stuff and the AI,
I was going to say, why don't you just ChatGPT it? I'm joking.
Well, right, but I want to be able to. So, like Phil Gervasi gave me a book at a NUG on because he's been talking a lot about the machine learning, AI stuff, and he's very educated on it, and he's able to like explain it. And I'm like, how did you learn this? Because it's super confusing to me when I try to study it. And he gave me this book, and of course, the book starts, and there's a lot of like, it's not coding, but I feel like there's there was that book about like software eats the world. I feel like if you don't understand basic like programmatic concepts, it cuts you off from a lot of other things and
That's
conversations. And so I don't think I can understand this book that he said is an intro to machine learning, which will put me down the path of trying to learn how the AI stuff works. Because when I try to read it, I'm like, it feels like programming to me, like that type of thinking. So anyway, for a couple of different reasons, I'm like, I'm going to learn it. But the point of this rant is, I'm like, well, Lexie used to study Ethernet and this Cisco stuff and all that. She would study in public, and it was so great. I'm going to do that. And I get on, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm reading a textbook live on the internet. I think this might suck. But
that is how it feels reading a textbook
on
the internet on a stream.
But I'm not Lexie. I think I'm charming. I think I'm funny. But then I look back, and I'm like, oh no. I was reading a Python textbook on the internet, and I'm going to try to make this into an episode. What have I done, Lex? So I got
that's totally normal.
well,
I
feeling
felt the
of like,
same way.
oh no,
I wouldn't watch myself read a textbook, dude. Like you watch it back and you just like don't like it, but that's okay. Like,
but so the good news is, so what I've been up to, I'm learning Python in public. It's hard. I kind of hate it. It's terrifying.
Okay.
The good news is I'm getting positive feedback. Like people are like, "Oh my God, this is great. Keep doing it. It's great." Now I don't know if they're just trying to be nice, but again, when I'm looking back at this, and so I'm trying to create like episodes out of this, and I'm like, "Oh no, what have I done?" Because
Because you have to then look back at it and edit
well,
it.
I'm editing and I'm trying to take stuff out. And like the one was literally like me for 40 minutes fighting something. And I'm like, well, I can't, like, this is crazy. Nobody.
Yeah, you just fast forward through that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make it a little more interesting, but I did two. So the first one I did by myself. The second one, Jeff came on with me, and it was fine. But so as you know, good.
Andy's about to shit talk Jeff right now.
Well, no. So, so a good team. There's how can I say this? Because Jeff is going to listen to this, and I don't.
You are about to shit talk.
No. There's a certain amount. I think if people are different, it makes the content better. There's like a certain amount of tension.
Yeah. Okay.
If everybody agrees and says the same thing, and it's like, okay, I'm listening to an echo chamber. This is dumb. So like, God bless him. Like Aaron, when we first started, Aaron was on, and like Aaron and I did not see eye to eye, and we argued on camera a lot. But it made for good shows because we were in two different places, two different vibes, and like so. Anyway, I say that to say that when Jeff got on, Jeff's just like, "Why are you reading this book? Just ChatGPT it. Just go code. That's what I do." I'm like, just go.
Jeff.
I'm like,
bad.
So now Jeff and I are getting into it in the second episode. I'm like, just go code.
It's become a morals and ethics show.
Well, I'm like, Jeff, I don't understand the difference between a variable, a string, and a freaking whatever. And you're saying just code? I don't even know what any of this means. So the good news is when Jeff came in, I think we kind of got into it because he comes at it from a very different angle than I do. And I'm trying to read the book. And Jeff's like, I would never read. Halfway into it, he's like, I would never read the book. I'm like, Jeff, we're doing an episode. I'm reading the book, and you're telling me I have to read the book. Like, what are you doing to me right now? You know what I mean? So anyway, that's what I've been up to. I'm trying to learn in public. I will say, I think yours were more entertaining, and I think you're just better at talking shit on the books than I am.
I mean, okay, I'll give you that. I might be really good at talking shit, but I don't think it was more interesting. No, I'm proud of you. That's awesome.
I think I was tuning into your streams because I loved your shit talking.
You were. Well, that's who doesn't love shit talking.
I didn't talk enough shit, I don't think. I even tune in now. I'll be doom scrolling way too late because I should be asleep, and then I'll see like you live streaming on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, what the hell's she doing? And I hop in, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. What were you doing last?
I love you, Andy. You're so. No,
it's like, kind. What were you doing? You were doing something cool. You had like you were labbing something.
When was it? Because if it was later at night, man, when's the last
it was late
time
here.
you did that? Oh,
you had a lab. You had like a virtual lab up. I don't know if it was Packet Tracer. You were trying to get something working.
It was
and like,
Packet Tracer. Yeah. Was that pretty recently? Yeah, I was twitching.
Yeah, it was.
I was twitching up Packet Tracer. It was really embarrassing though because I got my CCNA in 2019, and I had done a lot of Packet Tracer at that point, and haven't done any since. And so I forgot all about how to use Packet Tracer. So I had like folks way more experience than me in the chat. Like, here's how you do it. You have to generate the RSA key in order to get SSH to work. And I'm like, wait, what? You know,
RSA modulus 1024, whatever bullshit.
Keygen, whatever. Yeah.
But isn't that crazy? It's probably changed a lot since then, right? Like even just Packet Tracer.
Packet Tracer does not, and I don't mean to talk actual shit, but Packet Tracer does not seem to have changed that much. It was pretty old hardware, but also I'm dumb and forgot about how to use Packet Tracer, and maybe like there's something you are supposed to do with the free version that makes it more updated. Maybe the free version is just like older. But
I'm a fan of this live streaming, labbing, learning stuff, and you introduced me to this, and I really enjoy it. Yeah, and people seem to get into it, right? Like you get people to jump in.
Feel free to copy because I would like to learn from someone else who knows how Packet Tracer works, because apparently I don't.
If you want to be bored to death, I have 2 Python episodes out where I'm live streaming. I'm literally reading the textbook, and Jeff's yelling at me like, "Why are you reading the textbook?" So.
Jeff! Oh my gosh!
But the good news is the second half of the second Python episode was really good because I got so despondent, I closed the book.
No.
But then we had a really good conversation about coding and Python and why it's hard. Well, all of it, like just all of it, and why it's important. And so we did a good episode after the reading episode, and I'm like, well, I can't figure out how to make it its own, so it's all just an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah,
make it the coding series. Hey, so where do you live stream for the folks at home and for me? Is it Twitch or?
Well, it's funny so even trying to live stream to multiple places is so hard to me. Like,
it is.
So we use Riverside to record, which is what we're in now, and it's already set up to stream to YouTube just from us. Nice. We used to like stream it out. Yeah. Well, I was trying to plug into other things, and that was a whole thing. Like I still don't have
the
my
stream
TikTok live
key or whatever.
key
I don't
like,
even
yeah,
know
all of it.
Yeah.
I had to apply for it on TikTok. They still haven't gotten back to me. But once you apply and rub your belly and pat your head and look at the moon, they'll eventually give you like a key I can put in something. So
I hope you get it
YouTube.
soon.
It's I mean,
doing it on TikTok will be really cool and interesting. I think you'll reach like you'll reach some dumb people, some interesting folks who don't know what's going on and just like happen upon it. But that's kind of the fun of it, right? Because they'll ask questions and like I actually really enjoy when the weirdos come in on TikTok.
I wasn't planning on going down this road, but you've been like, I know you used to stream on, was it Twitch? Was that the original?
Yeah, I still stream on Twitch.
No, what was the
and
original
TikTok.
one?
Oh, RPAN. It was, oh my gosh. This sounds
RPAN
so
on Reddit,
old.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
Reddit used to have, so many people don't know about this because it only happened for like a brief period of time, but Reddit had the Reddit public something network or whatever.
Is that gone now?
It's gone. They got rid of it. It was only around for like, I don't know, 6 months or something like that.
Why would they get rid of it? They had like TikTok before TikTok.
Right. I think that it just wasn't successful for them in whatever parameters they set for themselves. It wasn't successful enough. I really enjoyed it because I got practice streaming on
That's
it.
where I found you, I think.
So,
I think you were streaming
really,
on RPAN. I think that's where you started.
You're a real one.
Whenever
man.
you got on Twitter and talked shit, I'm like, oh my God, she's my people. And then I found these live streams. But what I wanted to ask you, and I got sidetracked, you've been on RPAN, I know like TikTok. Did you do stuff on YouTube? Like, do you have
I haven't streamed on YouTube yet. I've considered it. It's just there's a lot of platforms, and I haven't figured out technically like how to tie them all together and what's best. And I need to utilize YouTube better.
So are you like split between Twitch and TikTok? Like, do you have a preferred?
Yeah. And I'll say for some, I have a terrible in case you can't tell, or viewers of the YouTube version of this can't tell, I have a terrible quality camera and I need to get a better one. So I typically actually prefer TikTok live because it's just so easy to flip open your phone and just do it. But Twitch, I think ultimately is like a more robust platform if you want to have like a really nice polished look to your streams. If you want like multiple cameras on different things, depending on what you're doing, like in the lab or whatever, you do it all in OBS and it's not super hard if you're used to stream. Like it's superior for sure. So it just depends on what I'm doing.
This is going to sound ridiculous to you, but I'm so clueless with this stuff. So in OBS, is that where you play your like starting soon? Like
you create, you can create different like scenes and like you just click on the scene and you put that up.
I did everything wrong. So I did a screen share playing a looped MP4 of my starting soon thing we made in Canva that Jeff helped me with.
I love that.
And, like, it was so clunky.
Did it
Somebody
work,
afterwards was like, I mean, kind of, but then it was real janky when I'd like,
I'm gonna have to go.
So I had to stop that and go. I mean, no, it's. But yeah, I did everything wrong.
That's how you learn.
So, well, yeah, you know what's funny? Like, there's something about vulnerability, and this isn't what we're talking about, but like, my wife and I turned a corner years ago when we were in some kind of argument. And one of us got vulnerable with the other. And it just kind of opened us up to like, oh, like we're not adversaries. Like,
yeah, we're on the same team.
We're having different experiences through this thing. And like, so I think there's there's magic in vulnerability. And the reason I'm bringing it up in this context is like, if you can just study publicly and be vulnerable and lost, and because
it goes a long way.
Well, I think so, because when I see somebody doing coding, or when I try to watch, and I'm no shade on any of these people, when I try to watch like a Kirk Byers Python, like everything I consume, it's just so slick and they're so confident and they're so fast, and I'm like, I'm so lost.
It's intimidating for sure.
Well, it is, and I know what they're doing and keeping it tight, but like for me, so what I'm hoping this does is like, listen, I'm as clueless as the rest of you. I don't want to learn this either, but I realize the value in it. It's going to help my career. So I'm going to do it publicly and embarrass myself publicly, right? But if I can do it, you can do it, and maybe you'll learn something too. And so I think there's something to be said for being vulnerable publicly, especially learning in public, because I think it pulls people along. There's so much.
Yeah.
Who was I just talking to about this? Like there's Erica the Dev was saying something about she feels like she's falling behind in her career, and like it never ends in tech, right? Like there's always a new thing. It never ends. You're never catching up. Most of us work insane hours or nights and weekends, or like I used to study every night from like 10 to 12, 10 to 1,
Yep.
trying to
You
like
go to work and then you
level up.
study. Yeah.
Sucks, man. Like it's another job. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that other than like it's just you can never keep up and it always feels like it's never good enough. But seeing people who are known, like let's say you or maybe somebody like me who's just struggling publicly learning something, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is a struggle. This is a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody isn't perfect. They don't know everything. None of us do.
Right, exactly. And that's also why I love doing even you don't even have to stream to be vulnerable, right? Like I'll every once in a while do a video where I like, do a simple little lab thing that's like, okay, if you're studying for your CCNA, you've got your CCNA, you're going to look at that video and be like, that's so easy. That's such basics. Like, why are you teaching? But it's like, okay, some of us forget these things and some of us just like to play around. And so like there's something to be said for the whimsy of making mistakes and messing around. And sometimes I'll get flack for like doing weird lab shit that like no one would ever do.
Like,
And
shut up.
yeah. And it doesn't
But
bother
that's what
me.
labbing is for. It's for fumbling
Exactly.
and breaking. Like, okay. Like,
yeah,
you know?
I think there's this impression that people, especially folks new to tech or like who want to get into tech, they're going to feel intimidated because I hear this in my comments a lot, honestly, is like, oh, I see all these people with their like slick home labs and like a big tall rack and like it's all beautiful and everything's perfectly organized and there's like pretty LEDs and like this person has coded all this stuff perfectly. And it's like, okay, no, let me get on and show you how I can cut a cable in half and just like plug it in.
I like your I like your Ethernet crown that
dude,
you
I have
make.
so much garbage around my
The
desk.
one you wear on your head?
I don't even know.
Really
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, let me just show you, like, the messy stuff is actually the cool stuff. It's not that fun. I mean, it's nice and satisfying to get everything perfect how you want, but it's really, if I can just say it, it's really all about the journey.
Oh,
right?
No.
Like, but it's really,
Shout
it's
out
really
to Kevin
about
Myers
like,
and AJ Murray.
I'm invoking, but like you don't. I'm
spirits.
invoking the spirits of networking. But yeah, it's not about like being perfect. It's not about showing off. Like, I know it's nice and tempting to like show something perfect and sleek, but like at the end of the day, you got to show the fun stuff, and the fun stuff is the messy stuff. And I'll never.
And you know what
ever
sucks?
Not believe that. Mm-hmm.
It's so easy. I agree with everything you're saying, and I feel it in my bones. And it's so easy. I got to a point in my career, and I think it's when I went to my first vendor role that I felt like I had to change parts of my public persona, and I couldn't be the dummy or asking embarrassing questions or embarrassing myself, because now I'm like representing this company and I'm a leader on a BU team, and like people are looking to us for direction in the industry. You know, if you work for a company, you can influence things that happen in the company. If you work at a vendor, one of the big 3 or 4 in networking, you can influence the entire industry if you have the tech behind you and you have smart people and you do it right. So what I'm saying, I guess, is like, it was a great experience and I made good money and learned a ton. But at the same time, something inside me shifted, and I stopped being as authentic as I was before that job publicly, because I felt like I had to kind of change my image into a more businessy, more polished, and it didn't feel right. Like it wasn't who I was. You know what I mean? Right. So now I'm at a different vendor, but again, I'm on camera every other week, embarrassing myself, trying to learn Python, calling myself a dummy, because it's who I am and it's the journey I'm on and the struggle I'm having. And I think it's important to connect to people through that and not put on this polished, I am on the mountain, I am great, listen to me. But it's so easy at a certain point in your career to feel this pull to like, well, now I am leader. Now I must be not wrong. And I don't know if it's just because I went to a vendor or not, but like, do you ever feel like you can't be wrong? Because people are always giving you shit for like not being perfect.
I don't feel like that, but if I were in the same position, I absolutely would. Like, I totally understand that. Yeah,
this weird head thing,
and
it
that's why
gross.
Andy, I'm determined. I'm determined to never move up in my career. This is it. This is where I'm going to be forever.
Oh, stop it! You're building networks going to the moon and eventually Mars.
I'll be real though.
Literally, where else could you go but space? There's no higher.
Well,
come on,
okay.
you've reached the pinnacle.
All right. If they offered me a seat, I'd get on there in a heartbeat.
You're going.
But that's
I know you're
it.
going.
That's it, right?
You're going.
But for real, I'm
calling it right now. Have you said it publicly yet? I'm telling you're going. Like I have been watching your career, and impossible things keep happening, and it's awesome and it's inspiring. You're going to space.
We have sent at least one of our actual engineers that worked at Blue at the time. He went up in New Shepard, so for free they put him on there. And I'd say he definitely deserved it. He like built it or something. But yeah, I'd love to. I'd get on there.
This episode of The Art of Network Engineering is sponsored by Meter. Meter delivers network infrastructure for the enterprise because every organization deserves seamless connectivity. Whether you have a large team of network engineers or an IT team of one, Meter makes it simple to get online and stay online. Meter provides a full-stack integrated platform that combines hardware, software, deployment, and support, so enterprises can ensure their networks have the performance, security, and reliability they need without the inefficiencies of juggling multiple vendors. It's enterprise networking reimagined, giving IT teams the ability to spend less time managing complexity and more time driving business strategy. Go to meter.com/A1 to book a demo now. That's meter.com/AONE. Now back to the show. But would you just go? So how far would you go? Like, do you just want to go past the whatever the thing? Like,
I'd go to the moon. I'd go to the moon. We're doing stuff that's supposed to go to the moon now, and that's publicly available, so I can talk about that.
Yeah. I think I'd freak out. It's too long.
Yeah, I mean, I would be no. I would be terrified. I'd be terrified and out of my mind the entire time, right? And I'd be thinking I was going to die. But the coolness factor is worth it. It'd
be so cool. I think I'd go to the moon. I don't think I could go further than the moon.
I don't think I'd go to Mars or anything. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I see the article of like this person has signed up and she's going to go to Mars and never come back. I'm like, wow.
That's not though. Sorry. I mean, I hope you get to, but
they can't bring
your
people
dreams
back, right? Especially in the beginning.
You're not.
Like,
how long?
Once they send people, they're
Mars?
not coming back, right? 3 months at best, if we line them up right. I think.
Okay,
it's a long time. So here we are. Could you sit in a tin can?
No.
For 3 months?
No.
Right. I know.
I can barely sit in a tin can from Washington to Florida. Okay?
I can't sit in a car for 2 hours driving to the shore. I'm like, oh my God, get me out of here. My back hurts and I'm going crazy.
But
3 months.
I would go to the moon, and that's my limit. And I'll stick by that.
Would you land on the moon or would you just go around? Now we're getting
if it were autonomous, I would land on the moon. If somebody's driving it, I would not land on the moon. That's my limit.
What if it was an astronaut whose whole,
Nope. That's just, look, I don't have any like amazing data for that or any real reason other than I don't trust a person. I trust,
Do you fly in planes with people flying?
Yeah, and that scares the shit out of me, to be honest. But I'm going to say all modern or almost all modern like spacecraft is autonomous, and like I trust that. I do trust that, right? But I know that
most airliners are like they're not autonomous, but they are so automated. So I got a buddy who's an American Airlines pilot and military and all that. He's been doing it forever. He tells me that the next generation will be flying in pilotless commercial airliners. Because they could do it already. It's just people wouldn't go for it.
That sucks for pilots, though.
But
don't they have a union?
Listen, this is why I was yelling from the top of the mountains when they were saying automation. I'm like, oh my God, that means... I mean, if you can fly planes without people, and you can manage networks without people, and you fly...
You can't do that yet. Fight yet. Anyone in the... I can hear the audience just going crazy.
But that was my fear. And then, of course, I realized that I was a blacksmith making horseshoes and they've made the car. I'm like, no, you can't do this. And they're like, we're doing it. Shut up. And now your job's gone.
Yeah, no, I mean, automation is, I'm not saying automation is useless and like not usable. Obviously, it's used everywhere. But you still need people to build the networks and to automate the things.
It feels good to have a person there, especially if something weird happens. Automation relies on software. There's no software that exists that isn't perfect and doesn't have a bug somewhere. And if you hit a bug, it's really nice to have a person there. Can you imagine if you're headed to the moon or Mars or something else and like, and then you need somebody on the joystick and you're like, there aren't any people.
Right? Oh my God, that does stress me. See, that's why I wouldn't go to Mars. That's one reason why I wouldn't go to Mars. No, thanks.
But no, you should go to the moon for sure. I would like to go to the moon, but I don't think I'm allowed. Let's pivot away from space. So we wanted to talk about, I have a note here, weird lab shit. It's circled.
Sorry.
Weird lab shit. So
Yeah, weird lab shit. Let's talk about it.
I love your labbing. When you were talking earlier about the person saying the perfect wiring and this beautiful rack and all that, I should show you a picture. I'll put it up when I edit this. But like the cabling in my home lab is so awfully terribly like gross and spaghetti. And I have 4 different color wires. They're just hanging everywhere. It's so ugly.
Yeah.
Like, do you do cable management at all?
No.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. I don't
cares,
give a
right?
shit. Well,
I know.
That's the thing.
It doesn't
I'm
matter.
moving. First,
The packets
I'll
don't go faster.
I'll just head this off, and I'm just going to tell you a secret right now that I don't care that people know. I oftentimes will just film a video after having purposely plugged in every cable I can find into whatever random ports I can find on unpowered switches, and it gets hella engagement. So there's a free tip for y'all. People get real mad about that. But it does get you engagement. I look, I don't care.
Don't get me started on hubs.
Yeah. Oh God. Don't get me started.
Don't get you started. I know.
People like if you're playing around with your home lab, like I understand people having really nice management if they've got like their network that they're using for things and not changing around a lot. If that kind of a home network is like in this perfect, beautiful, nice little rack, like of course you want it to look nice. Okay. Yeah. And that's fine too, right? But like that's where I understand it, like being super neat. But otherwise, if it's your learning home lab, what are you doing, bro? Like, are you actually not using it? That's what I think when I think, oh, it's perfect cable management. It looks beautiful and amazing. You're not using it then.
When I see your lab on content you make, like I just want to get in there and mess with it. Like, so like like your O-scope I'm fascinated with. Like you taught me,
cool. I
might have been working somewhere when you asked me, yo, bro, like,
oh yeah, oh
what's up with AutoNeg?
We did talk about this.
And I'm like, what do you mean? And you're like, yo, you turn off AutoNeg, but it doesn't work.
What happens? Yeah, and I'll just say this. I've looked at
you validated that with a freaking O-scope, and I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Like
specifically though, I will say this: it varies by PHY. I've come to learn this, right? I didn't
know what a PHY was until you started talking about this stuff.
And that's the thing, right? And that makes sense. Most network engineers don't need to care much about what a PHY is other than
what's
like
a PHY?
Very general. A PHY is a physical thing, a physical little guy. I'm not an electrical engineer, so this is it's a little physical chip guy, and it sits on a PCB, and that is what bridges
PCB is a motherboard, right? Is that what a PCB is?
Yeah, like think about, you have an ASIC that's also a chip, but in order for that ASIC to make switching decisions and stuff, it has to send stuff, it has to receive and send out a PHY, or else it's just an ASIC and it doesn't have any connections to the outside world. So the PHY
does the PHY
bridges
connect things?
It bridges your layer 1 with your layer 2, and inside the PHY, the MAC layer lives of Ethernet. Right?
Really?
Now I'm talking specifically Ethernet. There are other layer 2 protocols, right?
Pause.
Mm-hmm.
So does your MAC address table live in the PHY when you show a MAC address table?
No, so that logic actually lives in an ASIC typically.
Okay.
And in my experience, there might be
the PHY connects the ASIC
to
the physical ports.
So let me actually, because all of these words get
I'm sorry, am I taking us down a weird path
No,
here?
this is Andy, this is my obsession for the last 3.5 years. Don't worry.
But nobody knows this stuff. It's crazy. You say PHY and I'm like, wait, what's that? And now we're down that rabbit hole.
And there's no shame in that for anyone listening. Like if you don't know what a PHY is, but you're like a network engineer, a network person.
Like the PHY wasn't in the CCNA or CCNP, right?
It sure wasn't. It sure wasn't. They don't tell you that stuff. And that's not, that's not Cisco's like bad or anything.
No,
it's just, you don't need to care about that much.
Right.
But the PHY is basically the physical thing that, and when I say MAC here in this context, you have Ethernet has several sub layers to it, right? And the MAC sub layer, that's what I'm talking about. I know there's MAC addresses; those live at the MAC sub layer as well. So it's confusing, right? It's very confusing.
It's not. I'm just amazed at how deep you go in this.
It is.
So MAC layer, this isn't MAC addresses. Wow.
Right. I mean, MAC addresses they live at that. They sort of live at that layer, right? And like the MAC addressing happens there, among other things, right? But like, yeah. So there's like processing things that happen between the ASIC and the PHY, right? But anyway, you've got stuff that lands there. There's other stuff like there's the LLC sublayer, there's the MAC sublayer, but then you also have the reconciliation sublayer. I think I learned about the MAC and the LLC, just learned that they existed in CCNA class. What I didn't learn was about the reconciliation sublayer, about and I'm forgetting all the little terms, but it's like PLA, PLD, whatever, PMD.
How did you learn all this? Was it that
PMA.
Ethernet book you used to study or no?
It's the Ethernet book and it's the Ethernet standard. And that's not a humble brag, but I have had to dive in there a couple times. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
But like if you
standard too, right? Like how long is that?
It's a thick ass standard.
Like
but the thing is,
RFC
you don't
or, like,
no, it's so an
IEEE?
RFC comes from IETF, whereas the IEEE writes the 802.3 or 802 whatever working group standard. This Ethernet is specifically 802.3. So if you want to know about like fiber flavors of Ethernet, copper flavors of Ethernet, all the different speeds, whatever, they're all in 802.3. That's why it's so thick. Whereas like, Wi-Fi would not be in there because it's not 802.3. Interesting fact. Some people think
when we have our guest who had to reschedule on that you're going to join me with,
I'm so stoked, dude.
I don't know if she had like
she hates
I don't know if she had something to do. Yeah, but like I think she was also around when they like created it, and like I don't know if she had any part.
And she has the right to criticize it because she was there. I can't wait.
But same. Like, can you imagine being there? Like, if you and I were just in networking and like, oh, we're creating Ethernet, we're creating like layer 3 protocols. Like, we didn't put it. She said something about they didn't put a TTL in frames because they never thought the frames would ever leave the local segments.
Yeah,
I'm like, why would we put a right? Like, because at the time,
she said
it would never
basically,
leave.
Yeah, we could have just designed. They could have designed IP differently, and then we wouldn't have had to use Ethernet at all. It's so.
But here we are, like decades later, still using it all, and it was based on these weird decisions and these meetings people couldn't agree on. It's just so fascinating. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. I don't want to give up too much, but I've
a
question that came up. But anyway, but I'm so stoked for that. So anyway, Ethernet is a lot. And why did we start talking about this?
I was just going down the home lab thing, and we went down the. I was saying about the O scope and link pulses, and we got to PHY, and
yeah, it's a good way to learn. Like,
I love what you're doing in your lab.
Thank you. Yeah,
it's so cool.
I like to show people because I have had some folks tell me, which surprises me every time, but I have had some folks be like, "Wow, you doing stuff in your lab is really like." Made me want to do stuff in my lab and like get back into networking. And that's what it does for me personally. I do the stuff in my lab and then film it. First I do it and I'm like, this is awesome. And then I film it. Right. But like, that's why I do the weird stuff. Not because it's going to immediately translate to this bullet point on my resume and get me a job. It's just going to make me happy. Like it just makes me happy. And I like doing weird stuff. Like today I did a lab, or yesterday I did this and filmed it. I literally was like, what happens if I have two auto negotiating NICs? I don't know if you can see this. Sorry about the blur. If I've whatever. If I have two auto negotiating NICs, right? My PC and my laptop, and then I take a regular Ethernet Cat 6, I cut the blue and the brown pairs, and I just leave the green and the orange, and I just connect up the two PCs. Will I get gigabit speeds? Because they can go up to a gigabit. But of course, it just proved that no, you can't get a gigabit that way with 4 wires. You have to have 8 wires. They auto negotiated automatically. It sensed that it didn't have connections on those pins with the blue and the brown. So it downgraded to 100 megs. This is pretty interesting.
Wow.
And like you can say, okay, that's something easy that I knew, but have you ever just messed around and
until you do it, I mean, that's the magic of labbing. See, I thought I was like the physical layer dude because I was a cable guy that did all this physical layer stuff, and then I make my own cables and blah blah blah, right? But
I mean, that's definitely the physical layer. Like you were.
But then there's you who's just like
stop.
No, but really, like that's why I'm so fascinated by your labbing stuff and your content that I see, because the stuff you're doing, like again, not to be fixated, like what you just did there with the cable and like looking at link pulses on stuff after turning off protocols that are supposed to stop, but they don't. And like, who would was cool. I thought I was curious. Your level of like curiosity and go find outness is like intense and amazing and awesome.
Well,
and you're teaching us all, which is so cool. I'm not trying to like pump you up, but like I love the stuff you do.
I love sharing.
Who the hell wouldn't be amazed by this? Look at this stuff. Like nobody teaches this. Like it's so cool.
I'm just glad to like get people interested. My focus is always like girls and women, but anybody who gets like interested in it because of anything I do, like this, it's an honor, and I love that.
Do you get people ping you and approach you like, "Hey, this is really cool," and I'm like looking into like,
yeah. I've had people, make comments here and there. Every once in a while, I get a DM that's like, "This is so cool. How do I get into doing more of this?" And I'm always
that what it's all about. Isn't that nice?
Yeah,
like, how did you do it, and how do I do
it? It
this?
is because a lot of people don't know network engineering exists, especially girls and women. But like anybody who gets into it, like I'm super stoked because I just think it's such a cool, interesting field, and not a lot of people know about it, and you can make a good living on it. So
let's take a dark turn. because
Oh.
why not? Because all your lights are out and I can't see you.
My
anymore.
lights are totally out. I'm
It's
so
okay.
sorry.
It's kind of cool. Now you look like you're floating in space.
I
You're
hate
a
that I've
rocket
done
girl.
this to myself, honestly.
It looks good.
Woo.
So, do you think, how long you been in networking? Like 10 years, 5 years? It's been a while.
Oh, it's been since, well, I'd call it 20. I started studying for 2019. I got
like
my
about,
CCNA.
like,
Started, yeah. So about, goodness, 6 years. 6 years. We'll call it a little over.
would you still recommend networking
Yes.
as heartily today as you would have 6 years ago? Like, do you
Yes.
still think there's enough
Yes.
jobs? It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say this with this caveat. I'm not super in tune with the job market right now. I've heard
Sure.
it's not great at the moment.
Right.
And from you, I've heard that there are a lot of jobs that require automation experience or knowledge, right? Which that does sound tough. I do not like programming. Somehow I've still gotten by without really being able to program. I'm extremely lucky, right?
You don't have to do any of the stuff.
Dude, I'm so lucky. I'm never leaving this job.
Yeah. Like they don't. But I've heard you mention like Git and stuff. Like you're doing some kind of DevOps stuff.
Well,
right?
you know, there, yeah, like
pull
Git,
repos and stuff.
Git is good for like config management.
Yeah,
and like historical data. So like anything where you would need config management, right? Maybe you can think of that in network engineering, right? So it's a good place. I'm not trying to come out and say exactly what we use, but yeah, like Git is good for config management in general. So that's like, but we have like a version of an LLM like thing at work that we're allowed to use that's ITAR compliant or whatever. So I use that every once in a while to do like simple scripts. Don't write them myself. I do not know how to script or program. Right.
And you wouldn't learn unless your job depended on it, right? Or your career depended on it.
That's
where I think most of us are.
I have to be real. Yeah. I have to be real forced into it, but I guess I could.
I think that's how most network people feel about it, by the way, which is why.
Really?
If you look at the data, like almost no networks are automated. It's very, very low because I think most people have this feeling you and I have is like, no, I don't want it. It's terrible.
Yeah, like
and
that's why we didn't become programmers. Right?
Exactly. And now the industry's like, yeah, you got to know this stuff.
Right.
Like it's in the NA and the NP. Like if you're coming in telling people to get the NA.
You do learn Python and stuff in there.
Yeah. And it's intense in the book and in the exam, not breaking any NDAs. Like it's no joke. It's not like just spell Python. It's like, whoa.
Right.
I gotta know some stuff here.
You gotta know some structures and stuff.
But you don't have to code, so good.
Exactly. That, I passed, what was it? Encore, I think has some of that in it at least. And I remember that. And it was fairly extensive for like not knowing
pass Encore?
I did pass Encore. I did not pass NRC.
I told you not to go for an RC. You should have something easy, like design.
We're hiring for a position right now, and like I certainly don't care. If you have the knowledge.
How's that going? Are you allowed to talk about like
I probably can't tell you about the candidates or anything, but yeah, I know,
but like it's been hard. Has it been hard to find like
it hasn't been hard to find network people. It's just that this position is like such a specific one that we are looking for a really good fit. And we have like, obviously this goes for any job, right? Like the job rec is a wish list. It does not represent everything you have to like has to apply to you, right?
Is the physical location the biggest constraint for people?
Honestly, I do think that's a huge factor.
And I totally get why you have to be there and you should be there.
Yeah, but I also understand why people don't want to move, right? You have to be on site for this one, and it's like a unique thing.
It's a big ask.
It's
depending
just
on where you are in your life.
It is, and people with families, I especially understand. Like you can't just uproot everybody, so that's a hard thing. But we've gotten a lot of really good candidates, and I'm really excited about.
Are you interviewing? Like, are they going to work?
I'm not the hiring manager by any means. But I'm still the most junior person on my team, right? But I am involved in the hiring process, right? Like I'm in the interview panel and stuff. It's going well. I'm learning a lot by watching, my mentor is part of it. He's an architect. And then my senior engineer is also obviously part of that panel. And she's excellent too. So I'm learning from them, how to interview properly. But
is your mentor guy, the tall guy that I
he's the tall guy. Yeah. His name is Eric. He and I did a presentation this year at Cisco Live at the Cisco U Theater. So check it out if you want to hear general stuff about network engineering in space. But yeah, so he's a part of it, and so is my senior, and it's been a really good experience so far. We've met a lot of really good people and had a lot of great applicants and candidates. So
I'm sorry I can't move to Seattle because
I was going to say, Andy,
I would work
in
aerospace in a hot second. I could pick all these people up and take them across the country.
I
There's
wanted-
no better job I could think of.
I actually
doing
wanted to ask you, but I knew that you could not. You could not.
Listen,
with your family. And
I would
stuff.
love.
I got it.
Dream job.
If you ever
job.
find yourself, let me know. If you ever find yourself in the Seattle area, just looking for a home, just let me know. Hit me up. That would be so fun. We would be chaos, though. I think we'd be good chaos.
If we work together,
We would. Oh man, it'd be a lot of fun in the lab with Andy and Lexie.
yeah, I can't imagine how much fun you have in the lab and what the labs are. And I know you can't talk about any of it, but
Fun
it's
is one
just
word
so
for
cool and
it.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I
Has
have
it
my
gotten
own,
easier? Like, have you
it's
worked out
gotten
like
to all the
went to the
craziness.
thing? Like it
Yeah.
went like okay,
climbed.
everything worked.
I climbed the mountain.
Yeah.
I'll say, going from a data
Like, is
center.
the hard part behind you? You think? Like, okay, we did it. We went up.
The scary part, like with the launch and everything, is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about? Like generally, yeah. The scary
Well,
part.
All the network stuff, right? Like, is it
I'll
rinse
say
and repeat
this.
for the rest of the rockets? Like, okay, we got this
Well,
worked out. We're good. There's always tweaking, but
Right. In an ideal world, it's like, oh, rinse and repeat, right? But there's always tweaking. There's some tweaks
Yeah.
we need to make. There's some improvements we
learn
like
stuff.
to make. And,
Yeah.
we're always looking forward towards the next thing. So I'll just say, like, the reason we're hiring at work right now is to replace me, because I'll still be on the same team and everything, but I'm going to be doing a similar role on a related but different project. So I'm
Cool.
really excited about that. Yeah. It's like
yay.
plenty of growth and like learning opportunities. I've learned a ton already just doing development for this project. So
Wait,
I'm
you're
stoked.
working on the warp drive, aren't you?
yeah, you figured it out. That's
We got to
all
get
right.
past rocket propulsion. I see them working on stuff and they're doing crazy stuff in the Hadron Collider and they're
Oh
trying
my-
to bend space and
Have
time
you-
to wormholes and so
You should read Three Body Problem because they talk about some of that.
Alright.
There's like a
Three
fictional.
body problem.
Yeah, it's so good. It's very weird.
Writing it down.
Read the first two books, maybe not the third one. Third one made me question everything.
I hope that this has been fun for people listening. This has been fun for me talking to you. I wish we got to do
It's
this
been
more
fun
often.
for
If
me.
we worked together, we wouldn't get anything done. You're way too
We
interesting.
wouldn't. We just
So
chat the whole time. It's
yeah,
fine.
it's good that we don't work together. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? I really appreciate you coming on and doing this
No,
with me.
this
This
was
was a
so
lot of fun.
Andy. I just
Yeah,
love
this was
chatting
awesome.
about cool techie stuff with you. So
And
thank
people are going to love this so much more than me reading a Python textbook. So thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you for coming on and spicing it up and it being more entertaining than it's been in a while. I'm all by myself and Jeff, and I'm just boring the hell out of people with Python.
I'm happy to come on anytime. This is always a blast. I love it. Thank you so
It's-
much.
It's always great. Thank you. For all things Art of NetEng, you can check out our Linktree at linktree.com/Art of NetEng. There is some new merch up. I've been talking about it for years, and we finally got some merch up. Thanks so much for listening. Check out our Discord server. It's all about the journey. You can find it on the Linktree as well. We have thousands of people in there. Everybody's hanging out, talking, helping each other. It's a really cool place. We have a happy hour, which has been happening more and more lately. People just hop in, they'll have a drink, they'll hang out, and kind of like we're doing here, but just with a couple of folks. So if you don't have a community, get one. You don't have to do any of this alone. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time on the Art of Network Engineering podcast. Hey folks, if you like what you heard today, please subscribe to our podcast in your favorite podcatcher. You can find us on socials at Art of NetEng, and you can visit linktree.com/Art of NetEng for links to all of our content, including the A1 merch store and our virtual community on Discord called It's All About the Journey. You can see our pretty faces on our YouTube channel named The Art of Network Engineering. That's youtube.com/Art of NetEng. Thanks for listening.